Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Abington Township Board of Commissioners regular monthly meeting for October 9th, 2025. And may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioners Brodsky? Here. Rothman?
Here.
DePlacido? Laney Martin?
Here.
Brown?
Here.
Weingrad?
Here.
Henry?
Here.
DePone?
Here.
Young Gertz?
Here.
Spiegelman?
Here.
Bull?
Here.
Schreiber?
Here.
Bowman?
Here.
Vice President Vahey?
Here.
President Hecker?
Here. Thank you. May we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So Commissioner DePlacido is excused this evening, and I just have one announcement. Wanted to highlight that this past weekend, Abington Township held its first annual Abington Fest, and by all accounts, it was a tremendous success. We had hundreds of families in attendance, and the two-day event included a kids' dash for ages 2 to 10, a 5K run or walk, a parent-child golf tournament, and a fall festival with a trunk or treat, touch a trunk event, kids' activities, music. I mean, it was just the absolute perfect fall festival. And, you know, one of the amazing things about this township is the spirit of volunteerism that exists and the community engagement, especially among our staff, many of whom are township residents and care deeply about this community. And so we just want to take a moment to thank everyone who was involved in those efforts this past weekend. One of the things that makes Abington unique is the collaboration and partnership that exists among the departments here. And this event this past weekend would not have been possible without the collaboration among Parks and Rec, Library, Police, Public Works, Fire, Wastewater, many more, and many volunteers. There are two people I want to call out specifically. The first is to the Director of the Library and Special Assistant for Public Affairs, Liz Fitzgerald, who just does an amazing job. Liz is always looking for additional things to bring to the community. This was her idea, and she did a great job. And Jessica Tolley, who is absolutely unbelievable in Parks and Recreation. And the good news is we're going to do it again. It was such a good event that mark your calendars. The weekend of October 2nd, 2026, we will be returning this with some new additions, including a movie night on Friday. So mark your calendars, and we'll keep you updated throughout the year. With that, I'm going to open it up for public comment on the issues that the board will be voting on this evening. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to comment on matters before the board? And if not, we will turn it to Zoom. I don't see any do we see any public comment? I don't see anything. Okay. We will move on to the consent agenda, and for that, I will turn to Board Vice President. We do have one? Okay.
Laura Lehman.
All right, Laura Lehman. There we go. I got to get rid of the other one. Hold on.
Stop the clock, please. Just reset it to 3.
Okay, I'm back. So I keep a second one in here if some part of yours doesn't work, which it often doesn't. So I wanted to comment, first of all, that I absolutely don't believe that you dare to bring ordinance changes and zoning ordinance changes and red light camera contracts and just unbelievable that you are bringing these things to a vote at the Board of Commissioners without a single committee review. And this is like the rules that you have been using to gradually take away all of our rights started with you telling us that those rules would give us expanded rights. And you added the committee of the whole. And the committee of the whole was actually just a joke that kept us till 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock at night so that people would go home and couldn't even listen to those things. Now you have graduated through multiple tiny steps, like the frog in the boiling water, where you keep turning up the heat. And you are now at a point where you just blatantly cancel the working session, meaning that there are no committee meetings except for fire, library, finance. None of the public affairs or zoning matters or anything else gets a proper committee review. And you are bringing them to the voting session and voting on them without any review. Both of the ordinance things should have gone to the, Comprehensive Plan Consistency Committee to review before you changed anything in a zoning ordinance. And that didn't happen. It didn't even come to just a working session. And the same thing with the red light cameras, the same thing with the PennDOT agreements. There are people who have issues with the PennDOT work that happens in the winter schedules. And they should have a place where they know this is coming up. They know because there's been a presentation at a committee meeting. They know what you're going to do and what's involved in it. And then they have time to research and find out if there are things that they need to ask questions about before they come to the voting meeting and comment to you finally on that. And you are literally rushing everything through with absolutely no oversight by the community and no participation. We have a manager that doesn't answer. We have people that call and don't get answers. We have right to knows that get put in.
Ms. Lehman, I'm going to ask you to wrap up. Your time has expired.
I am wrapped up, but I would like to see some changes. And it is unbelievable that we still can't even get the Zoom digits out of the big paragraph.
Thank you for your comments. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we're going to go to the consent. Oh, I'm out of order. We're going to the consent agenda first.
All right. First, Mr. President, I move for passage of the consent agenda listed as items A and B. And I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda carries. We have no unfinished business, so back to Board Vice President Matt Vahey for new business this evening. Oh, I forgot, yes, that was, thank you. I told, item B on new business this evening has been pulled from the agenda at the request of the applicant, so we will not be considering that this evening. Thank you.
First item, new business is BOC-03-100925. Motion to approve land development 25-01, 1526 Fairview Avenue, preliminary and final major subdivision and land development plans, and adopt resolution number 25-025. And I so move.
Do we have a second? Need a second? Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is letter C, BOC-05-100925. Motion to authorize advertisement of an ordinance of Abington Township, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, pursuant to Article 5 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, amending the Abington Township Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance of 1991 to amend Section 146-51 to permit a waiver of land development plan approval process for a partial non-conforming structure restoration. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clark, do you wish to make any comments?
Sure, just briefly, I'll actually speak about C and D at the same time because
Okay.
they're both trying to address the
Yes.
same issue.
Thank you.
As a result of the catastrophic event at SPS, we took a look at the section of our code that dealt with the redevelopment or rebuilding of a property after they've suffered a catastrophic event where they've lost either more than 50% or 75% of the value of the property. In looking at it, we recognized a weakness in our zoning code related to the reconstruction of non-conforming structures by a catastrophic event. The amendment would leave intact the restrictions on reestablishment of a non-conforming use, as well as the option to rebuild where less than 50% of the value of the non-conforming structure use is affected. However, where the conforming use is housed in a non-conforming structure that was subsequently destroyed greater than 50% of the value in a catastrophic event, the amendment would provide an opportunity to rebuild up to 75% of the previous gross floor area. No nonconformities are permitted to be expanded. The nonconforming rebuild must also be initiated within 18 months of the catastrophic event. The amendment also references a partial nonconforming structure waiver, which is the subject of the proposed Saldo amendment. The Saldo amendment adds to the township's existing process for waivers from land development. This process would be slowly applicable for reconstructions of non-conforming structures housing conforming uses that were destroyed in a catastrophic event. The process requires compliance with all zoning, building, and other code standards as applicable, and only permits the process to be applied where the reconstruction would not otherwise increase the impact on the surrounding community. The intention of this process is that the reconstruction most often does not require the same extensive analysis for earth moving or stormwater since the site is already developed. The process provides for oversight for the redevelopment without putting an applicant through a process not designed for rebuilding. While this review and these proposed changes were prompted by SPS, we realized that looking at the code that this could apply to other businesses within the township that suffer a catastrophic event. And while it would not necessarily prevent them from rebuilding for the redevelopment, it could result in some absurd redevelopment. SPS is a prime example. They still would be able to rebuild, but instead of building 1 or 2 large buildings like they previously had, they'd be forced to build 5 or 6 smaller buildings, which again would be an absurd result. So that's what both of these are meant to address.
Vice President Behe.
Sure. Thank you for the summary. I just want to point out the intention for scheduling this, we'd like to get this done by the end of the year. It's in my residents' best interest that this development occur as expeditiously and safely as possible. And so this will help streamline that process. It would be my hope that we can get this passed by the end of this calendar year. However, because of the timing between the November and December meetings, we wouldn't have 30 days to advertise. So we're doing this somewhat out of order. We are going to advertise tonight. We'll have a working session in November to discuss this more fully, and then final passage in December. So I just don't want anybody to think that there would be, lack of process here. We will be following our normal procedures.
Thank you, Vice President Behe. So there'll be plenty of opportunity as this process unfolds to weigh in on the specifics, but does anybody have any comment or question about the process before we take a vote on this issue? No?
I don't have a question about process, but I wasn't sure, is this only for commercial spaces or is it for residential non-conforming buildings as well?
It's for any structure within the township that is a non-conforming use that has suffered a catastrophic event that has led to more than 50% of the value of the property being destroyed.
So residential or commercial?
Residential or
Yeah.
commercial, yes.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of places in, I know in my ward that are non-conforming that's been there for over, 50 years or so, that's been built as residential that now you wouldn't be able to do anymore. And so hopefully in our future discussions, we'll teed out, like, will it be, that would be just my concern, because if someone has built their whole life structure around how their home is, structured, and if now you're saying you can't rebuild it, it causes issues with their insurance, a whole bunch of other things. So we just have to really discuss that in the
And
future.
that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make sure that if it gets destroyed through no fault of the owner,
Yeah.
that they're able to rebuild so that they're not hampered by the current codes. They're able to rebuild up to 75% of the
75,
non-conforming.
okay.
As long as it's a conforming use. If it's a conforming use and the dimensional aspects are non-conforming, then they're fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Next item is BOC-06-100925. Motion to authorize advertisement of an ordinance of Abington Township, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, pursuant to Article 6 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code and amending the Abington Township zoning ordinance of 2017 to amend Section 1904 to allow partial reconstruction of a non-conforming building or structure for a permitted use. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is BOC-07-100925. Motion to authorize advertisement of an ordinance amending Chapter 155, Traffic Control, Article 1, Automated Red Light Enforcement Systems, Section 15517, expiration. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is BOC-08-100925. Motion to approve the 5-year winter traffic services agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and adopt resolution number 25026. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is BOC-09-100925. Motion to approve the renaming of the inclusive park and playground to a place to play park and playground. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
May I just say real quick, I think this playground is near on completion or is completed. It is a super treasure in the township. And calling it a place to play, I think more clearly and accurately describes what it's all about for anyone in the township. I urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is BOC-10-100925. Motion to dedicate a pedestrian bridge at Rochester Park in memory of United States Army Corps of Engineers retired Chief of Planning Adrian Leary. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
And the last item of new business is BOC-11-100925. Motion to authorize the preparation and advertisement of bid specifications for the field improvements project. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes the new business this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Vice President Behe. We'll now turn to the Finance Committee and Finance Committee Chair, Commissioner Stuart Weingrad.
Thank you, President Hecker. First item up, FC 01-100925, motion to approve the August 2025 expenditures in the amount of $4,078,663.95, and salaries and wages in the amount of $2,511,228.91, and authorizing the proper officials to sign and approve invoices and supporting documentation and payment of bills and contracts as they mature through the month of November 2025, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioners Brodsky,
Yes.
Rothman,
Yes.
DePlacido, Laney Martin,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Weingrad,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Capone. Yes. Young Gertz,
Yes.
Spiegelman,
Yes.
Bowl,
Yes.
Schreiber,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Vice President Behe,
Yes.
President Hecker.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item up, FC 02-100925, motion to authorize the president and township manager to enter into an agreement with Zelenovsky Exarod LLC to act as Township's independent auditors for calendar years ending December 31, 2025, 2026, and 2027, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes the Finance Committee agenda items for this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Weingrad. We'll now open it up to public comment on general matters of township business. If there's anyone in the room that wishes to speak, please come forward. And if there is not, we will turn to Zoom.
Ross Abel.
Hi, this is Ross Abel. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Ross. Thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody. I'm Ross. I'm with Jamestown Abington Neighbors, Bike Montgomery County, also a local realtor. I wanted to just check in and see. I know I've emailed a bunch of you fine folks in the past, and we talked about it at previous board meetings. But wanted to check in. Do we have any updates on a systematic traffic calming approach and strategy, as well as an active transportation strategy from the township? So any updates?
I don't have anything specific, but we can take this offline, talk to the manager, and we will follow up with you.
Awesome. I know a lot of us have been really pining for something like this
Yep.
for a long time. So I'd really appreciate it.
And we do have the upcoming planning meeting. I think it's the 29th about, the bike lane.
29th
So
is the bike
We want to
lanes.
make sure people come out to that as well.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Laura Lehman.
Laura Lehman, a few things. First of all, your process on the advertising before the discussion that you are supposedly going to have on the SPS, the ordinance that is designed to go through quickly for SPS. The problem with that is that it makes any discussion that you have to change that ordinance absolutely insignificant, which is the same thing that you do with the budget hearing. And so the problem that we have is if you have the discussion and you want to change something, you're not going to change it because you have to advertise it, and then you wouldn't meet that deadline that you artificially set, which is why you're advertising it now. So we're asking you to do things in the proper order and the proper way for the benefit of the residents. Today we had, and the last few days, we had a partner from Mr. Clark's firm trolling residents who were trying to work out issues about the budget and get together and literally formulate their questions and share information. And he was literally trolling them and denigrating their character, saying things like, well, you must have an axe to grind. I mean, this is so inappropriate. I can't even begin to tell you. First of all, we shouldn't even have the solicitor. He was supposed to have stepped away from the township after the grand jury investigation. Then you went ahead and changed his firm and did not even present that to the public. So there's a lot going on here that's not right. Another thing that's not right is you are denying people right to know information. That's extremely important. Budget right to know information, for instance, that was just requested. That budget document is going to be finished by the 16th. And so even on the morning of the 16th, it could be delivered to the residents. There is no effort made to accommodate the residents in this township. Is an effort actually being made to withhold information from the residents? The residents need this document for the same reason we don't have the ordinance discussion or advertise first and then have the discussion, because the residents need to actually have a time when their comments on the budget are going to make a difference. So if they can't see the budget until after the presentation on the 16th, they can't give you significant input that would mean a changed budget. You want to have the finished budget by November so you can pass that in December. And so we need to have it before, Cheltenham has all of theirs before they have their October meeting.
Ms. Lehman,
And
I'm going to ask you to wrap up your comments. Your time has expired.
And can I ask you, please, to accommodate residents with that document?
Well, we appreciate your comments. Thank you, and have a good
We're
evening.
asking you for
Is there anyone else? Okay, with that, we are adjourned, and I will say, Chief Malloy, this one was for you. Oh, we have one more. I take that back, Pat.
Connie, you're unmuted.
Okay, my name's Connie Briggs. I live at 2953 Susquehanna since 1995. I'm just the person who posted a Nextdoor thread and was the person who was accused of grinding an axe. And so I just wanted to comment on what happened. And I don't know if any of the commissioners got comments resulting from that post posted about 5 days ago, asking them to send their comments to the commissioners to ask that the preliminary 2026 budget be released right before the meeting, or several days before the meeting, actually just a few days before. This is just the timeline. There was Finance Committee meeting was September 18th. I attended that meeting. Jeanette Herman and a few other Finance Committee members were there, and made my case and just asked if we could get that budget in a PDF format before the October 16th meeting. She said she would forward it to the township manager and to the Finance Committee, and I thanked her. And then I waited until about September 29th and asked her if she'd heard back anything, and she didn't reply. And then I emailed the township manager on October 1st, no reply. So then I emailed Tom Bowman and asked him if he could help me and mention this at the meeting, and he said he would. But then I had a Nextdoor post asking other people to ask their commissioners to do the same, and they said they would. And so some of you should have received some comments from residents asking for the budget before the October 16th meeting, and that post had 1,200 views in 5 days. So now I just received, I submitted a right to know a few days ago and received their denial today. And that was based on the fact that it's the budget could still be under revision or whatever. But my argument was 2 days before the meeting, it should be ready by then. I didn't want to put hardship on the Finance Committee or people preparing the budget, but I assumed that maybe 2 days before the meeting it would be done. So it should be done by October 14th. And that's what I requested, that document in digital format or equivalent by that day. And they denied it based on the fact that they're not public records at this time. Response records are currently exempt from public disclosure pursuant to section 701B10 of the RRTK. But it's not really good in the spirit of the code and the way the township has been run in the past, that you wouldn't want to just give us that document before the meeting so that we aren't deer in headlights at the meeting. You know, we'd like to let it sink in and have a little time to review things before the meeting, and then we can watch the presentation and ask really good informed questions. And that was my reasoning behind asking for the document before the meeting. I've worked for nonprofits, I've worked for the government, I've worked for a small company, and I like to have the documents ready for everybody before a meeting, and that's just best practice. So
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
please be more transparent. This is a lot of people complained. There's people are very disappointed in the lack of transparency. Thank you.
Adjournment part 2. We are adjourned. Thank you.